So it was on Snapchat that she put out?
Yes. And the Sun did the thing, and then we all posted pictures of our
The Mail
pants.
also did a thing, didn't they?
Probably.
Did you post a picture of your pants?
Yeah, because I was the first person to post the hashtag as well. And then I got a notification from Twitter saying, this thing that you were the first person to post is now trending worldwide. I was like, odd.
So Zoe Sugg, better known as Zoella, the YouTube beautician, posted an image of herself lying in bed wearing a t-shirt and some Calvin Klein tighty whities that are actually
Tighty blackies.
Tighty blackies. Yeah. And then this was then picked up by the press and reposted as Zoella posts new racy image of herself online.
She ditches her wholesome image was the line that they used in favour of like wearing something scantily clad on Snapchat.
Yeah, I mean it's not a particularly racy image as it goes. Do you not think?
I mean maybe, so you could pose the argument of she does have a very wholesome image, as the Sun said, and we very rarely see her in anything more than like some very lovely H&M gear, but I don't think that anybody is going to be, you know, getting sexual positiveness from that particular image. Just say. So Philip DeFranco, the vlogger, I'll stop digging myself into this hole.
Did you basically just say no one's going to be having a wank over that image? Is that that's basically what you just said, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
But so Philip DeFranco put this probably a bit more articulately than me, and he said that I can't even use this image as like a clickbaity thumbnail. Which is fair.
Yeah, I mean, I read the headlines before seeing the image, and when I actually saw the image, I thought, oh, I was not expecting anything that mild.
Yeah.
I was expecting like full-blown like Ann Summers type underwear image.
No, it was basically like she's getting ready for bed a normal night with a t-shirt and some pants on. But it wasn't particularly exciting.
But you do, like, bearing in mind how self-obsessed and egotistical YouTubers are, no offence.
I mean, you also used to post videos on the internet, so you're not
yeah, that's true, that is true.
excused from that, essentially.
But she did deliberately post an image of herself, like, in her underwear on social media. Presumably she wanted to attract some sort of attention.
I mean, so it's Snapchat though. Like Snapchat is well known for originally being the social network where people used to send 3-second dick pics to one another, and there used to be a huge problem with the fact that young people have been using it to sext quite a lot, and it's changed a lot now. Snapchat has kind of grown up a little bit, so basically after this story kind of got quite a lot of traction, a few YouTubers then decided to take the mickey out of the Sun and post responses to them with the hashtag #WeStandWithZoe, which I actually ended up being the first person to post a hashtag #WeStandWithZoe. I'm very proud.
Did you invent the hashtag?
So we were having a conversation about it on the YouTube Facebook group, which is conflict in terms, really. YouTube
right,
Facebook. But we were saying we need to do something about this. This is ridiculous. And I think people were probably joking about the fact that we should all post like parody images, and it ended up getting traction and trending worldwide.
There's an image of you in your underwear.
Yeah, doing the same thing as Zoe.
Is it racy? Would it get the young hearts pounding?
Well, I don't know. If you find like a small percentage of my midriff particularly racy, then yeah, sure, go for it if that's what you're into. But no, not really. And so the reason that I was quite happy to do it was because there is something quite ridiculous about a grown man in a beard posting a similar like ready for bed guys selfie.
I mean, there's something pretty ridiculous about the beard, full stop.
There's no need to be. You have no idea how contentious my beard is on my channel. Like it's really split the viewership. Yeah, no, very much. But we were deliberately trying to throw up the ridiculousness of the double standards of the Sun, which very often puts up. They have page 3 for goodness sake. Which
They have sort of closed that down now, haven't they? Or they don't.
Isn't page 3 of the Sun still like a topless lady?
It's not topless anymore. I think.
Oh,
I think they stopped doing that. No, I think they still show bikinied women, if that's a verb.
But at least on like their website, they still have like so many clickbaity articles that are basically, oh, look at this woman on the beach who's now really fit. And an example as well that was touted was Zac Efron is now quite buff and handsome in the run up to like the home.
They do it for men then?
Yeah, they do it for men as well. But also they were calling this image racy when the Sun itself has so many other racy images that are, like, you could arguably say were more scandalous. And YouTubers as well. So for example, like Marcus Butler, he recently got buff and posts like not naked, but like topless thumbnails all the time.
Yeah, but
gets ignored.
No one knows who Marcus. Who is he? Marcus Butler.
The like best-selling author Marcus Butler and millions of subscribers Marcus Butler. People know who Marcus Butler is.
I've not heard of him. I mean, in the real world, outside of the YouTube. So, yeah. As you complain all the time, no one knows who the fuck anyone is apart from Zoella.
Yeah, which is possibly why it's newsworthy.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think as an outsider of the article?
Well, she
and like the response to it.
She defended it as I mean, it is ridiculous the fact that the Sun's reposting this as a racy image. I don't disagree with any of that, but the way Zoella defended herself is by saying, you know, I promote body positivity and all that shit, and she has effectively made a career for herself over promoting the products of an industry that relies on people's insecurity about their physical appearance.
That's technically all marketing though. Like, all marketing is somebody saying, oh, you don't have this thing. Have this thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying she's pretending to be an ambassador for like body positivity, but
I think that she is.
No, but she relies on an industry that promotes the opposite of that.
Yeah, but so I would say that actually Zoe, she's sometimes a contentious figure, but I think that actually on the whole Zoe is a positive role model for people, and I think that she does try and put across like a healthy image to like young girls, and part of that is being okay with like wearing some pants and a t-shirt.
Yeah, but she says that as, you know, a girl who's quite attractive.
Of course.
It's all a bit rich, is what I'm saying. It's a bit ripe.
Well, okay, so you're a hater. Fine. What do you think of the response? Was it so? There's been some pushback. Some other online creators have said that this was basically a chance for a load of people to post like some slightly racy images of themselves and selfies of themselves, and there was also the possibility of underage people and young people posting like pictures of themselves in their underwear as well. Although I still maintain that there's nothing particularly racy about parodying Zoella's photo. I don't think there is an awful lot.
No, I guess it depends,
in terms of that argument.
Depends how far they pushed it, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of people didn't really understand the brief and were and did make quite erotic photos. But I was like, more power to you. That's fine. If you wanted to make a statement, then that's okay.
I don't know. It does, like, judging by some of the tweets I read, it does seem like social media going mental among itself, and actually the press exploits social media. It will like pick something up and run with it if it thinks there's clicks in it, but most of the world fundamentally doesn't really care what social media thinks, I don't think.
How do you mean? Well, so the We Stand With Zoe hashtag trended worldwide, and it clearly got enough people's goat to elicit that kind of like a really big response. I think that people were just mainly pissed off at the hypocrisy of the Sun.
Is it hypocrisy?
I think that it's a hypocrisy. It's a double standard for somebody like Zoe versus someone like Marcus or someone like Zac Efron.
I mean, you said that they posted an image of Zac Efron, or was it the Mail that posted an image of Zac Efron?
I think everybody posted an image of Zac Efron because that was a very beautiful image.
But I mean, you can't say it's double standards if they're posting images of men and women. They probably post more images of women, but then they get more traffic,
so to post an image of Zac Efron and say "Whoa," and to post an image of Zoe and go like, oh, she's ruined her wholesome image, this is absolutely disgusting, she's meant to be a role model. Yeah. I think that is a double standard.
I mean, they're different situations though, aren't they?
I
I mean, if you say that Zoella trades partly on her being a role model for young women, Zac Efron doesn't really trade on that on being a role model for young men.
I mean, he was like a teen star and does still have like quite a young following.
But
obviously,
he's got a young following among girls predominantly, hasn't he?
Well, and maybe some
And
young men.
maybe some gay men, yeah.
Are you saying you're not a Zac Efron fan?
No. I mean, it's not the same. So it isn't really a double standard. And I mean, the male hypocrisy is because the Mail is a social conservative news outlet, and yet it happily rides on
boobs
and images
and the sidebar of shame,
images of young girls, despite having inciting Pedogeddon every time there's a new major paedophile scandal. But I mean, the Sun's always been laddish and very Essex.
Do you think
So...
that's quite rude? I'm from Essex, if anybody didn't know, and I don't adhere to those stereotypes. So how dare you?
Okay, yeah.
But do you think that any of this response that like the YouTubers and quite a lot of her following kind of piggybacked on top of, like how much of that do you think was legitimate? And how much of it was a chance to take a selfie in your underwear? Because I did quite enjoy the underwear selfie taking. Yeah. It's very off-brand for me.
Are you saying that people that look for political analysis are not necessarily interested in seeing you in your underwear?
Funnily enough, no. Although I'm sure some people were very happy to see what kind of pants I wear. I did deliberately. I got home after work, found a nice pair of pants that looked similar to Zoe's, and so I hope that people will notice the attention to detail that I put into them.
I mean, do you find the best looking pants are actually not fucking comfortable at all?
No, mine are great.
No.
Calvin Klein's #spons. It's not sponsored. That wasn't sponsored at all. Although I am available, Calvin Klein, if you wish to.
I think they might pick someone a bit, someone who attends the gym a bit more regularly than you do.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say, is it?
I mean, legitimate in what sense? It's social fucking media.
Yeah. No, but do you think that I know that it's kind of saying, oh, did we have the right to be outraged? But do you think it's actually done anything in terms... So what I posted a bit of a rant on Instagram where I said this is ridiculous and people shouldn't be ashamed of not being ashamed of their bodies. Does that make sense?
I mean, were they trying to shame her? Were they trying to make her ashamed?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, they thought, look, they thought, look, there's an image of Zoe Suggs in her underwear in bed. We can spin this as a racy image. It will get clicks. End of.
Yeah, which it did. And actually, to be fair, we probably gave that article a bit more traction than it would have otherwise.
I mean, I wouldn't have read it if it wasn't for the outrage.
Yeah.
So yes, but there seems to be this thing in like news analysis, and I think we touched on it slightly in the previous segment. Is that people assume that newspapers are actually more ideological than they are. At the end of the day, bottom line does rule. And in the Sun's case, the Murdoch brand has always been very more about bottom line than someone like the Mail. The Mail is more ideological than the Sun, as is the Tory Graph, as is the Guardian. The Sun,
the Tory Graph being the Telegraph for anybody who might be confused by that.
The Sun just News Corps in general always cares about the bottom line and it cares about money. And this wasn't an opportunity to shame Zoe Sugg. It was an opportunity to get some clicks off an image.
Yeah,
that's the end of the story, really.
But it was ridiculously clickbaity because they could say it's a racy image when it clearly isn't a racy.
I mean, misleading clickbait. Who'd have thought, right?
Yeah, I know.
On the internet.
Like for YouTubers to preach about that also is probably not the best thing.
Yeah, no one's covered themselves in glory in this incident.
No, probably not. Do you think that this is something that, like the response to this, has actually done anything, or was it basically saying, "Oh, hey Zoe, you're like a significant person. Notice me as I stand up for you"? Because I know that that's been a criticism as well.
Yeah, I mean, probably. That's how social media works.
Thank you for having such a high opinion of it.
I mean, not you, but people in general. I mean, you're a principled man, aren't you?
That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me. And now, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Right Dishonour. That was Well, to be fair, this is very odd.
Do you know the name of the podcast that we run?
Yeah, totally. You've just been watching a clip from. I realise that we've just colour coordinated really well. Here, well done.
Yeah.
Good for us. This is Jimmy. We do a podcast every week. Every now and again, we talk about some fun stuff.
Mostly talk about boring stuff.
Mostly boring stuff. So this week we talked about the 1916 Irish uprising and the bomb attacks in Brussels and Lahore in Pakistan. But also we talked about Zoe and her pants. This is like a little teaser, so that if you want to go over and listen to the Right Dishonourable podcast, you can do, and find us there. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe, rate, like.
Yeah.
Other things.
Rate.
Do things.
Rate.
Do things.
What
Is that
platform? No, it's not. Oh, wait, yeah. Give it.
iTunes?
Rate it 5 stars. Oh, right, the podcast. This is a fucking cut. End.
Is it Zoe Sugg or Suggs?
Suck. She's not a plural.